But you did the Amazing Grace opening. It is an amazing grace to be here. Don't edit that out.
Excuse me, MCA, can I have your attention real quick? No. Yeah. Excuse me, MCA, may I have your attention real quick? Fellow MCA students, teachers, and Metro Tech staff, it is my pleasure to introduce to you our guest, concert pianist Wayne McEvilly.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I just heard a little bit of Amazing Grace, and it is indeed an amazing grace for me to be here today. As Drake just asked you to give him your attention. Well, I'm one of the few piano players that you'll meet who I'm not asking you to give me your attention. You don't have to. You can go about your business and do what you want and enjoy yourselves, and the music is in the background, but I know this about it. The music I'm going to play today is going to reach inside of you, and it's going to touch something deep within you, because I like to choose music from what I call the top drawer. Few composers really, you know, they kind of, in some sense, never grow up. Mozart is the most wonderful example of this. He somehow knew when he was a child that he had a genius within him for music. And there are many of you out there right now who have inside of yourselves a genius for your own music. So the way that you access that is to listen. So I'm here to, among other things, invite you, as you listen to this music, which will be in the background, to listen to your own listening, because it's by listening to your own listening that you access what is within you, yourself. And that is a source of energy. So I'm here to say, well, I'm going to play the piano, but it's not about me, it's about you. And the music that I'm going to play is for you. And I'm going to begin by playing some Mozart. You've probably all heard Mozart because he's out there and his music is very familiar. It's in television commercials. And it tells a story. All music tells a story. Very strange, because there's no words. But it's all telling a very specific story, and we all are equipped with everything we require to understand the story, to get what he's saying. Here they are. We have two of them. It's all you need. You don't have to forget about the fact that it's classical music or anything like that. All you need to know everything that Mozart is telling you. He's like a messenger. Yeah, okay. Every day, Mozart. He listened to Mozart every day. He even had his own violin and played himself some Mozart. Now there was in ancient history, there was a rock group. You probably don't remember it, but it was called the Rolling Stones. How many of you have even heard of that? Great, okay, so you've heard of it. Well, their lead guitarist was named Keith Richards, and they were doing a tour of the United States. They're still on tour, actually. And someone in an interview asked him, "What music do you listen to while you're on tour?" And he said, without even thinking, Mozart. So, many people have derived a great many benefits from Mozart. Okay. How does music tell a story? Without words. or sad music? Let me see. Just yell it out.
Happy.
Happy, yes. Thank you very much. That's very happy music. The mice are blind, but it doesn't bother them. They're happy mice. Well, I was playing this for kindergarten children, and I said, if I just change one note there, it's going to tell a different story, and this is the way it goes. One child said right off the bat, he just yelled it out, "Those mice are dead." Well, I think, how do you know that? That's a miracle. Well, that's the miracle of music's communication. It's going to tell you something real specific. No words are needed, okay? So here we go. Some of you probably know a bit about Mozart, and he was like a wonderful child genius. He wrote 17 big pieces of music for the piano called sonatas. 17. I'd like you all to think of a number from 1 to 17. When you have the number in your mind, raise your hand. Yeah, over there in the red shirt with the hood. 5, okay. Now I'm going to play a little bit of number 5 for you. Happy or sad? Yell it out.
Happy. Happy.
Yeah, how'd you know that?
That's the way it sounds.
Yeah, it sounds. Basically, that's all you need to understand all of Mozart. And I would like to thank the Metropolitan Library System for telling me about this place and making it possible for me to come here. And they also left, as a gift to you, my recordings of all 17 Mozart sonatas. So I'm going to be playing some of the 17 for you today. And whenever you want to hear them, you have a set here. Another number, please.
10.
15. Thank you. I'm going to play the whole first part of Sonata 15. I love this one. You may have heard it. They use it on television. Here we go. Happy or sad? It's happy music. So, trust me, if I play the opening of almost all the 17 sonatas, Mozart wrote happy music. If you want to be happy, listen to Mozart. Okay, this is about a 4-minute piece of music. There you go. That is a really great energy infusion, and you can have it whenever you want it because I'm leaving my recordings here. Sonata number 15. That's a part of one of the 17 sonatas. If you wanted to hear all of them, it'd take you 5 hours. So anyway, here's a question. Did you like that music?
Yes.
You liked it? Good. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you very much. How many of you like that music? Would you elect to hear it again? Really? Good. Any of you want to volunteer why you liked it? What it, kind of like what it did for you, or
Make me feel happy.
made you happy? The young lady over here who just got up. You said you liked the music there. I'm not going to let you get away. Hello? Yes? Come over here. Oh, okay. Well, as soon as you get back, I want to hear from you. That was good. Okay. Besides Mozart, what other composers, like, well, you've heard of Bach. Have you heard of Bach? Thank you. Beethoven. Okay. This is good. Rachmaninoff. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to stick to the basics here. There are 5 guys who wrote music who I think just are absolutely dynamic and whose music applies to everyone at all times, and anyone from the cradle up to 101 or 103, if you're lucky, gets their music totally. They are Bach, Mozart, Beethoven, Schubert, and maybe, yes, even Chopin. Thanks. Yes, Chopin. Okay, so Bach is mentioned and Beethoven is mentioned. Now, let's go into a little Beethoven. How many of you have ever heard of a singer, entertainer named Lady Gaga? Let me see your hands if you've ever heard of her. Oh, wow. Okay, even the adults have heard of her. Well, she put out a video recently called Marry the Night. Have you heard it? Have you seen that video? Anybody see that video? Well, it features some Beethoven. So I'm going to play some of the Beethoven from the recent Lady Gaga DVD. Now, you know that piece, don't you? That's the most famous 2 notes in the history of music. Da 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 da. And people have said some really nonsensical things about it. Oh, that is fate knocking at the door. Boom, 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 boom. Actually, I don't think Beethoven would have much cared for that. Anyway, yes.
What piece did you just now play?
That was the opening of Beethoven's 5th Symphony.
What were the keys?
Oh. G, G, G. G, G. G, 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 E flat. Anyway, how many of you out there are interested in doing music yourselves of any sort? Because I would like to I'd like to continue today's conversation with you. Yes. Okay. Here's a piece of music by Beethoven. It happened to find its way into Lady Gaga's video, but it's been around now for about 200 years. Thank you. That was about half of that piece of music that Beethoven wrote. And if you want to hear it all, I'm going to leave with you a CD I recorded in Carnegie Hall, and it's just has the whole thing on it. It's called the Pathetique Sonata, because unlike the Mozart sonatas, which are really happy, this brings a different sort of reflective energy to you. Now, one of you mentioned Bach. Who mentioned Bach? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for mentioning Bach.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Wasn't Beethoven suicidal?
Was he? No, he wasn't actually. Basically, that's proven by the fact that he lived to the very end of his life creating music. He, however, did have some pretty depressed thoughts when he discovered he was totally deaf. So that's an amazing thing about Beethoven, is that when people say that you can overcome anything in your life, and if you access the strength that's within you, you can overcome everything. Beethoven is a great proof of that.
Did he still write music after his deafness?
He wrote his greatest music after his deafness. Absolutely. He wrote music. He understood he was becoming deaf in his 20s. By the time he was 30, he was absolutely deaf. He could not hear anything. And so he did write a note to his brother indicating that it would be better not to be alive than to be alive and not be able to hear. So that was kind of like an indication that he was contemplating it'd be better not to be alive. But he was not suicidal because he overcame that, and he became the greatest composer of the millennium, according to Time magazine. You know, back when the calendar turned to 2000, Beethoven was the greatest composer of the millennium. Thank you for mentioning Bach, because if you would like to really, really, really relax, here is Bach. I invite you to close your eyes if it's convenient for you at the moment, and listen to this piece of Bach, which it's like absolute serenity delivered through music. Thank you very much. Isn't that relaxing? Yeah, my father used to say about my recordings, he would tell people, I put on one of Wayne's recordings and I go right to sleep. So you don't want to do that while you're studying or in school. So that was Bach. This coming Sunday I'm going to be doing a free program at the Downtown Library, and I'd like to leave some invitations for all of you if you would like to attend as my guests. I would like to invite you to be there. So I'm going to leave a flyer and I'll leave it out here on one of the desks. Is that okay? Thank you. So they will be available to you to pick up if you think you might be able to attend. Any questions at this point?
Thank you.
Yes. 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Thank you. It's Sunday afternoon, 2 o'clock in the afternoon at the Downtown Library, which is about a block away from that great big tall building you can see if you go out the window there and look, the Devon Tower. It's right there. Really easy to find. So how are we doing on time here? Okay. Would you like to hear some more music? I'm going to be playing some Chopin at the Downtown Library. So I'm going to play a piece of Chopin for you. Thank you. I just got a request, but he can't hum it, so I can't play it. So, any of you have any questions?
You play any Rachmaninoff?
No, I don't. I just basically stop at 1849, unless it's Billy Joel or Willie Nelson.
We'll take some Billy Joel.
Will you?
Sure.
I'm glad. I just would love to bring you some Billy Joel.
All right.
Here is some Billy Joel. You know, I just did a television show on Oklahoma Live, and I'd be glad to send a link to the footage to anyone who would like to hear that. And so this is right off of that show. It's called Oklahoma Live. Comes on at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, but then they re-air it. And I was talking about Beethoven, actually. You know the sonata that Lady Gaga used in her video? I just played a bit of it for you. Well, here's the second movement. What's this have to do with Billy Joel? Well, it's a story. I love telling stories. So I'll get around to what it has to do with Billy Joel. Let me remind you of the first part of that Beethoven sonata. Stretched out on a gurney or a stretcher in a hospital gown, and you know she's got to do something to make it interesting. And she asks for a little bit of music, and they put that recording on for her to listen to. So here, they don't get around to doing the second part. So here is the second part of the Beethoven sonata. That piece before? You've heard it? What is it? Why, it's Billy Joel. Beethoven happened to write it, but Billy Joel just made it into a song. He didn't change a thing about the melody. That's it. That is the second movement of Beethoven's Pathetique Sonata, the first movement of which was lifted out by Lady Gaga. And if it's good enough for Lady Gaga, it's good enough for Billy Joel. So he just lifted it out and put some words to it. The words. I don't sing. Do you know this song? How? This night it will last forever. So, it's an all-night long song. You know, it's just the same thing. So all night long, this night will last forever. Who wrote the music? Beethoven. But depending on what radio station you listen to, it's Billy Joel. Billy Joel, he's probably before your time, right? Has anybody ever heard of him? Raise your hand if you've heard of Billy Joel. Okay, yeah. He's a musician who lived in ancient history. And so you probably haven't, nobody listens to him anymore, except old people. Now, I've been on the planet now for 75 years, and I began playing when I was 3, so I've been playing this piano for 72 years, and I'm even giving myself credit for getting a little bit good at it. And I just think all music has something to say to us, all of it. So, depending on where you're listening from, that was either Lady Gaga or Billy Joel. Okay. Any more questions or any requests?
I have one.
Yes.
Can't play Moonlight.
Oh, wow, I just got a request. Moonlight Sonata. Yep. The Moonlight Sonata. Tell you what I'm going to do. It's wonderful to talk with, to address a group that's, everything is before your time, because you wouldn't remember this maybe. But there was a movie named Moonlight Sonata. Beethoven wrote the music. I've recorded too. So basically, I think I have one of these in my briefcase too, so I'm going to leave you my recording of the Moonlight Sonata. Thank you. Thank you very much.
He asked about the music behind the pianist. I want you to see what's in the movie. Several of the nocturnes by Chopin. Nocturne in C sharp minor, nocturne in E minor, nocturne in C minor.
The gentleman at the base. Yes, we do have, by the good grace of the smartphone, I just got a new smartphone. I have found that it's smarter than I am because it does things I don't know it's going to do. But we just got from the smartphone the E minor nocturne of Chopin from the movie The Pianist. And so you asked if I could play some. Now I can. Technology is great. Basically, I'm so glad I was born into an age where I have the use of technology. So here, brought to you by technology and your request, sir, the E minor nocturne of Chopin.
Thank
Thank you. I can see why you couldn't whistle or hum it. Thank you very much. Yes?
I have a request. Do you do any Debussy?
Don't do Debussy. I mean, I love Debussy. I love listening to Debussy, but life is short. So I haven't gotten around to it yet. I'm not saying I might not get around to it in the next quarter century. Thank you very much for asking them. Anything else? For Elise, yes, that is Beethoven. You know, I once heard a really great pianist, her name was Myra Hess, play that in Carnegie Hall, and it was in 1952. And I said to myself after I heard her play it, that was so beautiful, I'm not going to play that piece. I'm just going to remember it as I heard it. But I know what you're talking about. I can give you like a very short arrangement of it. Will that do? Okay, thank you. Very good moves. It's like, I was kind of like following the moves. Then I thought, well, I'll just... anyway, there you go. Thank you very much. Was that bell that just rang mean something? Going back to class. Enjoy going back to class. Basically, this music gives you great energy. I'm going to feed on it for another quarter century. So I leave my recordings and ask you to enjoy them. Thank you.